Okay, good afternoon again, everyone. We are continuing with our lesson on ledgers and ledger entry. During our last session, we looked at how we could go about and identify our accounts. And today we're going to look at how we explain those entries that we are going to be making using our in and out method. So we have a question on this side that provides us with the transactions. And in our second column, we're looking at identifying the accounts. And in our third column, we're looking at our explanations. So let us get started. All right, so the first transaction says January 1 started the business with $100,000 check. The two accounts that are affected are capital, because the money that we use to start the business is referred to as capital, and check simply means bank, because we have to take the check to the bank to have it changed or lodged or whatever it is that we choose to do with it. All right, so we now know our two accounts. How do we place those in the ledgers, right? Okay, so we would have had two ledgers. We would have had one for capital and we would have had one for bank, right? Or two tier accounts. For capital, the capital is coming out of the capital account and it goes into the bank account so that we can have access to the money, the capital that we would like to spend. On January 2nd, it says cash sales $5,000. Which two tier accounts are affected? We have cash, cash account, and we have the sales account. What is happening? The cash is coming in because we sold some goods and we see the goods are going out, and we log that in our sales account, showing that it is going out of the business, right? On January 3, it says purchase goods on credit T. Smith $8,000. Remember, the two accounts are purchases and T. Smith. It means that this transaction was a credit transaction because we purchased goods from T. Smith. We did not pay by a check or cash, so we have to create a T account for T. Smith because we want to track his account and track our payments, and how much purchases we make on his account. The two accounts that are affected now, purchases and T. Smith, how do we treat those? Well, goods are coming in because we made the purchase. So it's going to be coming on the inside, which is the debit side of the purchases account, and they are coming out of T. Smith's account, right? And so it's going to be on the credit side of T. Smith's account on the outside, because the goods are coming from T. Smith, so it's coming out of his account. So we are recording it on the outside of his account on the credit side to show that the goods are coming from it. January 4, paid salaries with check $4,000. Two accounts that are affected are salaries and bank, right? Salaries and bank, remember, check represents bank, all right? So the check is coming out of the bank, right? And it is going into the salaries account. That is where the money went. It came out of the bank account and it went into the salaries account. The next one says January 4, paid salaries $10,000 cash. Paid salaries $10,000 cash. The two accounts that are affected are salaries and cash, right? Salaries and cash. Here they are stated in the transaction. All right. So the cash that you use to pay salaries there is coming out of the cash account, right? So the cash is coming out of the cash account, and it is going into the salaries account. All right. The next one says January 5th, bought property with check $10,000. The two accounts that are affected are property and bank, because remember, check represents bank. So it's property and bank. The check comes out of the bank account, right? And the money goes into the property account, right? It is coming out of one account and it is going into another one, right? All right. The next one is January 6th. Bought machinery for check, and this is $8,000. The two accounts affected are machinery and bank, right? Machinery and bank. The check went out of the bank account and it went into the machinery account, right? We can also say that we spent the check came out of the bank account and machinery came in exchange for that money that we spent, right? January 7th, bought fixtures and fittings for check $2,000. The two accounts affected are fixtures and fittings and bank, right? Fixtures and fittings and bank. This should be bank. So the check went out of the bank account and it went into the fixtures and fittings account, right? So we can say that, okay, we spent a check, right, of $2,000. We spent $2,000. It came out of our bank account, and some fixtures, we received some fixtures and fittings in return. January 8th, paid water bill with check $3,000. All right. Two accounts affected are water bill and bank, right? Water bill and bank. Check came out of the bank account and went into the water bill account, right? The check came out of the bank account and went into the water bill account. So you took out some money out of your bank account and that went into the water bill account. Remember again, it's an exchange process. If you pay money, you're paying it. The money is going out, you're receiving something else in return. So in this case, it went into the water bill account for this service, all right? The next one says, January 9, received a loan of $1,000 check. The two accounts affected are loan and bank, right? Loan and bank. The check came in and it is coming from out of the loan account. So we are assuming that you would have received some money in the form of loan. So that loan now is coming out of the loan account and it is going into the bank account so that you can use it to do whatever it is that you would like to. January 10, sold goods on credit to M Black. Two accounts affected are sales and M Black, right? The goods came out of the sales account and they went into M Black's account, right? Goods came out of the sales account and they went into M Black's account. All right. The next one says January 11, received $9,200 cash from M Black. Two accounts affected are cash and M Black. The cash is coming in and it is coming out of M Black's account. All right. Let us look at the next transaction. January 12, paid T. Smith $4,000 cash. We paid T. Smith $4,000 cash. What is happening? Which two accounts are affected? T. Smith and cash. So the cash is coming out of our cash account and it went into T. Smith's account, right? January 13, paid purchase goods on credit, S. James, $1,000. Two accounts affected are purchases and S. James. So the goods are coming into the purchases account and they are coming out of S. James account, and we have to record those financial transactions, right? For January 15, said paid S. James $500 cash, right? Two accounts affected are S. James and cash. So the cash went into S. James account and it is coming out of the cash account because remember, we paid S. James. So the money is coming out of the cash account going into S. James account. The final one is January 16. Sold goods for cash, $5,000. Well, the two accounts affected are sales and cash. The goods came out of the sales account and the cash went into the cash account. So that is how we use our in and out method to determine now which side, we are going to be placing the information on when we are preparing our T account. So on our next lesson, we are going to be looking at how we actually go about to prepare our T account with this information. All right, so I will see you there and bye until then.